Have you ever been in the situation where you think you know your budget and you think you have it all planned out and you've got it all in your head, you know what's going on with your budget, and then all of a sudden towards the end of the month the money has just gone and you look back and you're like, oh, I forgot about that bill, oh, I forgot about that, and there is so many things eating away at your money and you have no idea where to start. That's what's happening in today's Budget Bestie. Hi guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome to Budget with Ira. My name is Ira and on this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel because we do have a lot of fun over here, Bestie. We really do. In today's video, we're going to be continuing on my series called Budget Bestie. Budget Besties is a series where people anonymously submit their budgets to me. I take a look at them and see what I might do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice. However, sometimes I can impart something that I might do in their situation, but the real knowledge and the real just chef's kiss comes from the comment section down below. So if you would do this budget in a different way that I would, and today's one can be quite controversial because I don't know a lot about some of the things that I'm talking about, please let me know and please make your voice heard in the comment section down below because it's so important that this information ends up in people's minds and eyes and ears and all of that. So today's budget's a very interesting one. It is means tested and it has a very unique scenario. So Bestie, let's get into it. So this person, like everybody else, has filled out a form for me and I've got the form in front of me. So their main financial goal is to pay off rent arrears, just to have money put aside in case it's needed and having money for occasions such as birthday and Christmas. So at the moment they don't have an emergency fund, a birthday fund, a Christmas fund, and they are in rent arrears, and I do have opinions and thoughts on that. So their main financial issue is my partner lost his job at the start of September and has since enrolled in college. So college cover money for transport there and back. He used to be paid weekly, which did relieve some burden with savings. However, we've struggled to get into a pattern of using money wisely. As he used to get paid weekly, he is used to having money to spend all the time and is struggling to stop owing money to people when that has to come out of other things. So that's a struggle. So they have a means tested income and their only debt is their rent arrears. So their rent arrears is £880. The minimum is adding £11 onto the rent payment each month, making the rent actually £410 rather than the £399. So I mean, I don't think I'm going to do a debt plan with this one, but we'll go into that. So there are currently 5 people living in the house, including 1 dog, me, my partner, daughter, as well as my younger sister, who pays for 8% of her own things, for example, groceries and other things she needs. Neither me or my partner drive, so we rely on public transport if we need to get anywhere that is too far to walk. My eldest daughter goes to secondary next year and will require about £5 a day for dinner money. May not spend it all, but at least it'll roll over. They'll spend it all. They will definitely spend it all. But I'm unsure where to pull this money from. I have no clue where the spare money goes each month. We include the dog's food in the groceries money too. Okay, cool. So there is an argument about like food for school because it might be cheaper to have a packed lunch every single day and it might relieve some burden and stuff like that. But if you have made a decision with your daughter that you do want to do school dinners for £5 a day, then fine, we'll work that into the budget. So yeah, but there is an argument that it could be cheaper if you do it the other way, but also how do you guarantee that your daughter gets nutrition and things like that? So yeah, it's a tricky one, but yeah, we'll work on that premise and we'll work on the information given. So I think it's time, Bestie, that we go ahead and get budgeting. Okay, so we're here today with my stunning paycheck bill tracker. This is something that's available on my Etsy store. It's an A5 size and A4. This is the A4 version and it's got 25 sheets. It's really good because you can tear it off. So it's really good for people who are new to budgeting and want to figure it out, or people who like to envision different scenarios, or people whose budget just changes on a whim. So it's really good to write out a budget. If it doesn't work, just tear it off and start again. So we're going to be using this today because because we are going to be making some changes, but we're only using one sheet. So let's get cracking. Today I'm using a Papermate Flair in bold. They're my new favorite pen. Absolutely love these. Really, really beautiful pen. However, it does transfer onto the skin quite a lot, but I thought it'd be a bit bolder so you can see it. So let's get into this budget today. So starting with income, first of all, we have universal credit and they get $1,450 per month. Then they get child benefit, which is £159, and then their sister contributes to the household £50. So that's going to go up eventually, but we keep it at 50 for now, and that leaves them with £1,659 for their total monthly income, which is all right. So first off, they have rent. So their rent is actually $399, but they're in rent arrears and they have an agreement that they pay back £11 per month. So instead of putting that as an £11 debt down here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make their rent for 10, right? Gas and electric. So gas and electric is £200, which is a lot. And then vape for them and their partner is £50, which I think is actually very, very reasonable. And then they have a phone plan for them, like the couple and their eldest daughter, which is $35. So that sounds like 3 SIM onlys, which is really, really good. Coming down to the bottom, as that is all of their bills that they've listed to me, that is $695, which leaves them with $964. So in terms of envelopes, they've only told me about 2. So they have groceries, which they budget £50 a week, so £400 per month. And then they like to do a top-up shop. So get bread and milk and stuff like that. And they like to give £20 extra a week, which is £80. So that is £480, which leaves them with $484. So that is their whole budget. So that says that they have a buffer of $484, and what they say is they don't know where their money goes. They have all of this money at the end of the month. They don't know where it goes and stuff like that. I just don't think they're close enough to their budget to understand where their money goes. So let's bust out the red pen. And it's another one. She's a beauty. So there's a couple things that we need to really, really consider first of all. So first of all, there's some bills that I think they've left out, which I think they might be on like means tested, so they get these reduced and things like that. So I've had to just shot them in just to as a placeholder. Now, if it turns out that they don't have to pay these, then fantastic, it makes their budget easier. But I can't find any sort of means tested where they would actually not have to pay these. So looking at this, they should be paying a TV license, because they would be, right? And it's, for me, it's $13.37. For most people, it's $13.37, so I've put that in. And they've probably got internet and they're probably paying for that. So there's that. Now, there could be tons of other bills that I'm missing out. They might have Netflix, they might have Sky, they might have all sorts of stuff. But assuming that this is all that they have, let's do that as well. And then council tax is there as well, and I've missed an I. So council tax, and the average in the UK is 172. Now, if they are in a means tested situation where they don't have to pay that much or they don't have to pay it at all, fantastic, we've got more money for later on. But I'm assuming that they have to pay it because most people do, even if they are in a means tested situation where they got universal credit and child benefit as well. So it looks like they do have to pay that. So that means that their bills are $905.37. Now, there's probably all sorts in there, but this is what I'm working off and this is what I know. So that leaves them with £753. This is where it comes to having a change, because obviously I think, you know, the rent is the rent, which is fantastic. Gas and electric is unfortunate, but it's probably the situation of everybody. Vape is a very good price for 2 people, and phone 35, like very, very good. Groceries for your household size, 400, I actually think is really, really good, but we need to cut out that top-up shop because it's making your actual groceries £500 almost, and that's just too much for a household your size. So I'd be really working to make that 400 stretch. And then what I would do is introduce travel, because neither of you drive and obviously you travel everywhere. So I would move that £80 into there. It gives you each £10 a week. I don't know if that's enough because it doesn't sound like you're doing like a ton of stuff outside the house and like all of that, and it looks like because of your partner being at college that sort of transport is covered, but it sounds like £80 should be enough. And then spending as well, you're obviously both spending stuff on yourself, on your kids and stuff like that. So what I've done is I've given you a £15 per week budget, and for both of you that comes to 120. So you've got money to get places and you've got money to like treat yourself and treat your family, right? So it's still not massive amount of money, but I think that's where some of your money is like disappearing and going. So that makes your envelope 600, which then leaves you with 153. Now, I would introduce some sinking funds. So first of all, I would introduce Christmas, so you're not caught out, and I would introduce birthdays, and then I would introduce emergency. So this emergency fund is dual. So at the moment it's emergency fund, but as you said, when your daughter starts school, you want her to have dinner money, which is £5 a day. So this will convert in September to dinner money, yeah? So this will be £100, so that's £5 per day over 4 weeks, yeah? But for now, you'll be building an emergency fund for like emergencies basically. So you've got all the way until September. So if it's October now, so you'll probably get about £1,000 in there, maybe 1,100 in time for when they start school. And then what I'd also do is I'd start putting away £20 a month to Christmas and birthdays. It's not really going to help you out this Christmas because by then you'd probably only have £40 in there, but you did say that you had some savings, so that's good. So in terms of debt, I wouldn't even consider this rent a thing of debt. You've got an agreement with them. Landlords are greedy bastards, so I wouldn't even bother. So what that now comes up to is £140, which leaves you with £13. Very, very small buffer, but bear in mind you're saving for an emergency now. So having a larger buffer, and it doesn't look like your bills fluctuate all that much because these are direct debits, and the only thing that really could fluctuate is your gas and electric. Now, if you're in a situation where council tax isn't a thing for you, internet isn't a thing for you, and TV license isn't a thing for you, and that's why you didn't tell me about those, you've got much more money to put into here, so you can actually have more money for Christmas and birthdays. So that is pretty much what I would do with this budget. There's also a third scenario, which is why we're busting out the green pen, because your partner is out of work at the moment. He's at college, so eventually he will be getting a job. So let's assume that he would bring in £1,000 a month. So you'd be doing this for like a year. September time, term's finished, he might have a job by then, and your kid's at school, right? So it means that you've now got £2,659 pounds. What I would then do is, instead of like really changing the way you live, probably give yourself something like £30 a week or £25 a week. So I'd up your spending money, and if travel's not working for you, up that. And then what I would probably do is start introducing sinking funds like holidays, and then start to save for, you know, maybe a home or whatever it is for you. But I wouldn't really worry about this rent arrears because you've got an agreement. Landlords are greedy bastards. Unless you're in a situation where you feel like you might be kicked out or something like that, like I wouldn't even bother doing that. But yeah, life becomes easier when your sister pays more and when your partner introduces more money into the household. But in the situation you have where your partner lost his job and that he's going to college and things like that, you can make things work. It makes it much tighter, but I think you just need to be much more realistic with yourself and actually really understand where your bills are coming from, because the worry is that there's actually more going on than what you told me about. So if there is a Netflix, if there is a Sky, if there is subscriptions and things like that, it does make it a lot more difficult. But yeah, sometimes we have budgets and we only really care about the big ticket items, but sometimes it's the little things that add up that actually make us go over budget, because we forget about them when we put our heads in the sand all the time, and that's the thing that sort of trips us up. So really understanding every facet of your bills and what's coming out and all of that really can be so helpful. So yeah, I definitely encourage you to draw up a budget so that you can really understand everything that comes out. Like Apple Pay, $1.99, enough of those in the month can really sort of start to trip you up. So definitely do that. Hi guys, gals and on-board pass, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. So what did you think of today's video? I know it was quite brisk because I felt like there wasn't like much to work with, and I tried to put in a provision to have a bit of an emergency. Now the thing with the landlord situation is that I think they're greedy bastards. So I'm not in a habit of going over and above for them, because I don't believe that very many landlords will ever go over and above for you. I think they're just here to take your money, which, you know, is fine, but like I just don't like it. I just don't like the whole situation. But I would be inclined to pay the minimum forever. Just forever. So if this person found themselves in a situation when their partner got back to work and their sister was paying a bit more each month, because £50 isn't a lot at all, then I would be inclined to maybe overpay a little bit, but I'd make sure that I've got my 4 walls sorted. I'd make sure that I've got like a nice robust emergency fund. I'd get myself sorted before I ever sorted out somebody else, especially a landlord. What do you think? Please let me know down in the comments, because it's very interesting, because this is mean tested. I don't know this world inside and out. So I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are. I'd love to know. Thank you so much for getting here, but an extra special thank you to the channel members and the patrons who make all of this possible. I truly mean it when I say without you, I would not be here. Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks and significant discounts off my Etsy store. So if you'd like to join them and support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That's all we have time for this week, and until next week's budget bestie, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And bestie, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.